All right. Thank you so much for meeting with me, Tara, and thank you for letting me into your classroom to watch your lesson. It was so great to be in there and see all the amazing things you're doing.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course. So how do you think the lesson went?
I feel like it was a really strong lesson, especially by the level of engagement my students showed.
Uh-huh.
Um, I really enjoyed reading through their exit tickets. It
Mhm.
feels like most of them are comfortable with what I taught,
Mhm.
but there's still a little room for growth, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I loved the way that you had students collaborating. As I was walking around, everybody was engaged in the task that they were supposed to be doing. And you did a great job checking in with a couple groups who were starting to get off task. You got to them early and checked in with them. And then I loved your exit ticket and the way you had them reflect, not only showing you if they understood the content, but the way you had them reflect on how comfortable they were feeling with the content.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about what your planning process looks like?
It's a little bit of a long process, but the first thing I do is I look at the UBD that the district provides and I go through all of the TEKS to see what they need to understand, what they need to know, and I
Mhm.
underline all of the key verbs. From there, I grab my vertical alignment to see what prior knowledge they should have already come to our grade level with.
Right.
And then after that, my next step, I usually pull out the field guide and I look at the
Mhm.
key vocabulary terms, the instructional implications, and then where mistakes may occur. And
Mhm.
that helps me to know where some of the productive struggles may come from
Right.
within the unit. Um, so I really think that that helps, as well as it helps me build time for collaboration within our lesson.
Right. Yeah. And when you're talking about those field guides, you're talking about the lead forward field guides,
I
right?
love the lead field. That is like my go-to to see what maybe I don't know. They have some little tips, tricks that help me get through it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then after I do all that, the looking through the field guide, planning vocabulary, I finally get to do my favorite part, which is the big picture calendar. I love plotting where our unit's going to flow and like to plug in some formatives throughout just to do other quick checks in addition to my exit tickets.
Yeah. I love the way that you're really thinking big picture here and you're making sure that you're going to have time to fit in all the concepts within the unit. Is that something you might feel comfortable kind of helping some of our newer, more novice teachers kind of walk through and start using that for themselves as well?
I would absolutely love that. I love the planning process. I really do.
Awesome. If there was anything you could change about your lesson, is there anything that you would kind of tweak a little bit?
Yeah, I am struggling a little bit with ESL strategies.
Okay.
So, more of how to incorporate with my vocabulary terms I'm getting from the lead forward field guide. I
Uh-huh.
feel like I present them, but not every student is maybe grasping what those terms are.
Yeah. Do you have a plan to kind of address that?
I actually scheduled a meeting with our ESL specialist, Crystal,
Oh,
and she is going to come in and help include some sentence frames and stems for our students to use.
okay, perfect. And is that going to be like a regular thing or is it a one-time thing?
Yeah, I actually sent her a calendar invite so that she can come to any and all future unpacking and even the daily lessons, like when we are planning for our regular planning.
Oh,
She'll be coming to those too.
that'd be great. I know for some of our beginning and intermediate students, having that co-teaching experience with the ESL teacher would be super helpful.
Oh, most definitely.
All right. Um, so I really, really loved, Tara, the way that you really incorporated that work we've been doing as a district and as a school with both students interacting and collaborating with each other and with those cognitively complex tasks. Even though you only had about 4 problems for the kids to work on, they were really deep problems that covered multiple concepts. So that you did an amazing job with that.
Thank you.
I want to show you really quick just our walkthrough form and kind of see um, some of the um, notes that I made. Let's see. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Perfect. Okay, so this is our walkthrough form. Um, and we started with classroom environment. You have definitely got those routines and procedures down. The kids knew exactly what to do. And it was evident from walking in. They didn't have to ask questions about when to sharpen pencils and things like that. It was clear that they've been collaborating. This is not a first time occurrence, just based on how productive they were. So we definitely effectively implemented in all of those areas.
Mhm.
Um, One thing that I didn't see quite as much of, but it might have just been the lesson and where you were, is making sure that we're using those SPED and those 504 accommodations.
Okay.
So those kids who have things like math charts, that might have been helpful, but it also, we saw calculators being used that could have been the appropriate accommodation there too.
Okay.
Okay. And then your kids were definitely working in cognitively complex tasks. They were explaining and defending their conclusions. I loved how you even had them come up to the board and explain a problem to the class. That was amazing. Um, and they produced their own artifacts from what they were doing. And then students were interacting, they were collaborating, there were clearly norms, they trusted each other. I noticed too that we didn't have like those sentence stems and those ESL strategies. So I think you are 100% on the right track with working with the ESL teacher to kind of plan those out better. And then asking in-depth questions. The one thing I would like to see is if you would kind of track those in-depth questions,
Okay.
make sure that each kid is getting, appropriate scaffolded questions.
Can do that.
You've definitely started that process. I think now maybe if we could have like a cruising clipboard as we're walking around the
Sure.
room, checking off who we're checking in with.
I can definitely do that. Thank
All
you.
right, excellent. Stop share. Okay, Tara, is there anything else that you want to discuss or that I can help you with?
No, I really feel like getting feedback, positive or even ways for me to grow, is very beneficial. So I
Awesome.
appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, Tara, before I let you go, I did want to ask one favor. I've kind of already asked if you'd be willing to plan with some of our more novice teachers, but because you did such an awesome job with that collaboration, and that's really a campus focus for us, would you be open to having some of your colleagues come in and just observe how you do that within the classroom?
You know, I get nervous with that, but yes, if it would benefit the better for our school, yeah, I would do that.
I know it's super nerve-wracking to have people come in and observe you, but you are such an all-star teacher, and I really want people to be able to come in and learn from you and all of the awesome work you're doing.
Well, then I would be up for it. That sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you. Thanks
Tara.
for all your feedback. I appreciate it.
And I'm here anytime if you have any questions or you need any
Yes,
help.
I
All right.
always feel like that. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.